Hello everyone, welcome to the 101% podcast where we talk about mindset, motivation, discipline, how to always push yourself, how to become a beast and how to defeat struggle. This podcast will help you to get a better life, that's 101% for sure. I'm your host Joakim and together with me is the co-host and my sister Annika. Welcome to this podcast. Good morning, or shall I say good afternoon in Thailand?
Good afternoon from Phuket. How are you, my brother?
I'm fine, thanks. Very excited to get some new recording now in this podcast. A lot of working every day, working, training, and a little family time. Same every day. But it's very fun. I enjoy it a lot.
That is good. And it seems like you're getting the most out of it.
Absolutely. Give me much. So then it's just so fun. I just only want to work all the time. And when I go sleep at the night, I'm tired and I think, I just want to get finished with this night and start working again. It has become a habit now. It's a good habit, healthy one.
For sure. And it shows me that you are in the right place in life where you want to be. That is very good to see.
Thank you for that, my sister. So what about you? How are you feeling and are you in shape? How is your life going those days?
Yes, thank you. I'm good. I feel fine. I am in camp now. I will fight my 5th Muay Thai fight here in Phuket next week. So I am in fight camp, but I don't know if it was COVID or dengue fever or something. It knocked me completely out, both me and my husband. So I'm still very fatigued. I feel that I am not able to push my body that hard when I train, and it affects a lot of my training. So I have made some adjustments. I don't train as hard as I usually do in camp. And today I had to skip a session. And those things really bug me, really affect how I feel because I want to perform at top all the time. But that's how life is. We don't plan for sickness, but we have to deal with it in the best way. So I'll still make some adjustments and try to train smart and prepare for the fight the best way I can. But this is the camp where I've been mostly focused in the mentality. So mentally, I'm very ready for this fight. So now I just need to get my body to cooperate as well.
Okay, good to hear you are mental prepared, and I very hope your body will come quickly back because I know you have been a lot sick the last weeks, and I hope you will come in shape again, and I sure you will.
Thank you. I appreciate that for sure.
Sounds great. Okay, then we're just gonna start. In today's episode, we will answer the question from our Q&A. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Let's get started. So we did have a Q&A, question and answer, on our Instagram and our Snapchat this Saturday and Sunday. And we make it anonymous so people could send us a question they would like us to answer. And we have a lot of questions and some feedbacks, and we appreciate that a lot. Thank you everyone who took the time out of their life and did send us some questions. We appreciate that a lot. Yeah, a lot of questions, so it's gonna be 2 episodes of that. And for those who don't follow us, on our we have on Facebook and on our Instagram, it's the 101% podcast. But you have to write the % sign with letters. And same our website, you can find all our information to our social media links and everything. It's the 101% podcast.com. And also there, you have to write the % with the letters.
And we really appreciate everyone taking the time to come with questions, to send us messages in our DMs and reach out and tell us what they think about our podcast. We've gotten a lot of feedback, both from people that really like it and also from people that have suggestions. And we really appreciate all of that because this journey is all about evolving ourselves and inspiring others and creating this community where we will become better together. So that's what it's all about. We appreciate everyone taking part in this as a teamwork. So that has been truly a joy. And we got a very nice feedback from a listener that sent us during this Q&A. I would like to read it for us, Joakim.
Yeah, you can do that. Feedback from one of our listeners. She say, just a thank you. You both share so much, and it is amazing to realize that I actually can learn so much from you both. I am so proud of you, and I do hope your life will be abundant, blessing and filled with love. I'm blessed because you are my relatives. Keep going. Hugs from our listeners. And thank you so much for this amazing, nice, and good feedback. We appreciate it a lot. It gives us a lot of energy and motivation, yeah, to keep working hard and produce a good podcast for you. And this listener has been a very great supporter and so feedback in YouTube. So big shout out to she, and thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate that from our heart.
Sending all the love to her and to all of the others who follow us on our journey and participate in it. We really appreciate it. And we'll try to answer all of your questions today as best as we can. Always honest and always sharing from ourselves. So I'm excited for this. Let's get going, Joakim.
Yeah, you and me have talked and discussed this a lot about. I see that you have a hijab on you today, and the listener would like to know why you do it. So can you explain the reason behind that, Annika?
Yes, for sure. I've been talking to my closest friends and family about this the last few weeks, about my decision to start wearing a hijab. And today is the first day that I do wear a hijab, not only when I pray or when I'm in the mosque, but also when I leave the house or when I'm on recording or stuff like that. And the reason for that is because I am a Muslim, and Muslim women are supposed to wear a hijab. It is written in the Quran, which is the lesson we have received, the words from Allah. And as you know, I am a person that goes fully into things. Everything that my heart touches, I go 101% into it. So for me, it feels completely right to do it. This is a decision that only comes from inside of me, my heart and my faith. And it is very important for me to practice Islam the right way, because I truly believe that that is what will reward me both in this life and in the afterlife. And it is important to do as well as I can, because I truly appreciate everything that God has given me. So it is important for me to follow His words and give back in the best way I can. And I understand that many people will probably have questions about this, or maybe someone will even have assumptions or worries. And please reach out. I'm very open to talk about it. And just to explain it again, this only comes from a good place in my heart and will give me a lot of benefits. So it is a very good decision for me to make.
Okay, then you have cleared us out. Then we go straight to the next one. We have many here. We are on the clock as always.
As always.
Okay, so here's another question. We can and should probably all work to become the best version of ourselves, but with a lack of enthusiasm and exciting flame, the voice of joy, how do you start? What do you tell yourself? Walt Disney's word, if you can dream it, you can do it. It sounds hopeful, but how can one manage to believe in it? Can you start with that, Annika?
Thank you for a very good question. I think this is something that we can all relate to. To start is the difficult part. So when you have already started, you are already so much further ahead. And I think this is something we all struggle with. Starting with something feels like walking up a mountain. It feels like such a huge task, but we just need to start. And as our listeners say, that if you lack enthusiasm, then it is hard to start. So how can you believe that you can do it? So earlier in this podcast, in episode 10, we had dedicated the episode to talk about the power of the mind. And we have also talked a lot about creating habits and being 101%. And I understand that that is not right for everyone, but this concept helps to create good habits and to believe that you can achieve it. So I think my answer will be to encourage this enthusiasm to grow, fuel the fire with the right kind of gasoline, if you know what I mean. Like, fuel your fire with good self-talk and the reasons why. Why do you want to achieve this? Okay, then how will you do it? So just create this pattern where you truly believe in it, because you have to believe. If you can dream it, you can do it. But then you have to believe it. You have to dream it in a reliable way.
Great answer. I will say just start small. Do little by little. Take small baby steps. Just do little, do something, and little by little, small things lead to more things. So you just walk out, take a little trip, and start to feed yourself with good self-talk. Oh, great, I did a little trip today, and you start to convince yourself that you have done something good, and you do the same next day, but you do it a little bit more, and just little bit by little bit, yeah. And suddenly you built a habit, and then, as Annika say, then you are inside it. You are inside a good habit, and then it's much more easier to keep going. So you just have to fuel yourself to get there. Where do you get your motivation from when it's heaviest?
For me, I think that when I've had the darkest periods and where I've actually been considering quitting, I ask myself, okay, what is the consequence of quitting? And then I feel like my entire body kind of aches because that pain is very big. So then it all goes back to my why. Why do I continue? And if I quit, how will that affect my life? At one point, I will quit, but then I need my life to be ready for it. So I think it's very important to ask yourself the right questions when you struggle with motivation and things are very heavy. And you ask yourself, okay, will it benefit me to quit? Will it benefit me to not keep on going? Is the easy way the most right way for me? To ask yourself the right kind of questions, because your feelings and your emotions will always try to trick you. So go into your logical part of your brain and ask yourself the right questions. They will awaken other kind of emotions in you, the inspiration and the motivation and the hustle.
Absolutely. Many great tricks when I lack my motivation and it's heaviest. Yeah, I used to look YouTube and Instagram on people I look up to. It inspires me a lot. So I look a lot about them, and sometimes I hear on podcast I like and people I see up to, and I hear some good song who give me extra energy, and I just fire myself up. And then it's much more easy. Okay, now I'm gonna do it. And sometimes I fire myself up, and sometimes I get angry too, and I use this anger to fuel. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do it now. Okay. And then I push me. I just smart little by little, and I not go out to crush it, but I take a trip, and the day after more and more, and then I start boxing again. So I just do something just to get my machine to start again.
That is very good. I just remembered you suggested for me that I should look into the Jason Stapleton podcast a while back. And in one of his episodes, he talked about that success is lonely. The road to success is very lonely because the people around you maybe won't understand or maybe don't even support it. I don't know. And he was talking about that people will always step into your life and tell you to take a day off and tell you to not go so hard. And it was a very good episode. We can link it in our comment section on YouTube. But he was explaining this concept, and I've been thinking a lot about it. If you have desires and you always stay in this old life of yours with all of these hinders and struggles, it is very difficult to find that desire to keep you motivated or to awaken this motivation. So once again, I want to go back to the black and white mentality. If you want change, you need to make changes in your life to create that new pattern of yours. So don't rely on the people that doesn't inspire you or the people that kind of hold you down. So as Joakim say, go into the people you look up to and fuel your motivation from the right channels, from your whys, from your desires, and from where you want to go in life. To think about your future should motivate you so much that you just go. You, Joakim, have had a picture of your dream home at your office for years, and you have told me when you turn on the lights and go into your office, you instantly turn on your motivation because it reminds you of why do I sit down on this computer and start working. You have also written some inside information to our listeners. You have also written on post-it notes in your computer, why are you doing this? You're doing this for your daughter. You want to create a good life for you and her. So all of these kinds of things should inspire you so much that the desire flips on.
Absolutely. That's many good tricks, yeah. And now I know I have any more secret left. You told all of them, but okay. It's great to tell that because that's some tricks who help me when things are heavy and I just have to look the reason and remind myself why I'm doing this.
Definitely, and it's so available for you. Every time you sit down on your computer, you have it right in front of you. So this is a very good trick.
Absolutely. Great, you did mention that, Annika.
And I see the next question here. This is for you to answer, Joakim, because I don't have a good one for this.
Okay.
Are you 101% people also good at calming down? Rest, reflect. Can you also find joy in complete peace and presence in a room? Be it a church room, alone in the living room, or together with family. I'm sorry. Or together with family and friends out in nature, up in the mountains, or something like that. Isn't just being present in silence also very uplifting?
It's a great question. It had been very difficult for me, to calm down, sit, relax, always in a hurry, stress, always have so many things to do, So it had been like this all my life, till since I started in rehab, And in the place there, I learned some tricks. I have to sit, relax more about my life, enjoy the great moments, and look for the small great moments. And after that, I work very hard and much about myself because this was very difficult for me, because I like to do something all the time, but I work very hard, so I became better and better on this. So now I absolutely can relax and find peace in my mind when I together with my family, in church, or in other places. One of the best tricks, is to try to be present. I try to be where I am, not let my thoughts and other things flow. I sit talk with people and I put away my phone and I focus on the people and the situation. I just put away everything and try to be there, and throw away all distraction. And that's helped me to be present. So it's worked for me now, but it have been very challenging to learn me that. But you can learn everything, just put in the reps.
That is awesome. And I think for me, my life is kind of also at a speed where it goes 100 kilometers per hour, or what should I say? Like my lifestyle, it goes very fast. So I'm not good at calming down. I'm not good at taking rest or not doing any activities. But as the listener is referring to here, if I am in a room or at a mountain or stuff like that, then I feel very present, as you say, and then I'm able to relax very well. And now, after I moved to Thailand, I've done a lot of life changes. I feel more present and I feel more calm. But one thing I for sure need to be better at is just to not really have a plan. Have an hour where I don't have anything scheduled or where I don't do an activity, just like not do anything. It's very few times that I do it, but when I do, I benefit so much from it. So definitely something I will work on improving.
Great one. I will start to work on that too also, because you just find something to do all the time. So it's an important thing, and the Thais is very good about that. They just stop everything and sit down, eat, relax, talk, and laugh and enjoy. So they are great about this one.
The next question is, have you always had such a close sibling relationship? And do you never argue? What if you disagree deeply? Does it always work out?
We have always been very close as siblings. From Annika was young, me and my brother used to take care of Annika and our other sister. And when mom and dad was working and like this many times, and we always been very close. And when we grown up, we still always been close. Usually, when we argue, we try to have mutual respect. But sometimes, of course, we get angry me also, and sometimes we say things we shouldn't do, or maybe we do it on a not nice way. So believe it or not, we are just people also. So most of the time we are good friends, and sometimes we became in tough arguments. Not so often anymore. That was all I have to say about this. What about you, Annika?
Yes, for sure. I was talking a little bit about it earlier as well, but you are one of my best friends and one of the closest people to me. And for many years, it's been like this. I remember way back in 2015, I was 17 years old, probably. You were also my best friend at that point, and I bet that is kind of weird, rare, because of our age difference, but you have for a very long time been my best friend because of your enthusiasm in my life, how you care about me and how you are interested genuinely in hearing about whatever it is I am going through at school or something. Like, you always make it interesting to talk about my life. So we have always been very close. And I remember when I was really young, I always looked up to you, and you always spent time with us and took us out for drives or forest walks or things like this. You've always given the best of yourself. So we have had a really good relationship. And we are human. We still, to the day today, we learn new things about each other, and we learn new things about how important it is to communicate and always spend time, always try to understand the other person. So of course there's many things we go through as best friends and business partners and accountability partners and siblings, and we have many relationships, and that makes it even more important to communicate and to focus about maintaining our relationship. And it is about, like, for a relationship to work, you need to water it the same way you water a flower. You need to work on it and focus on it, because we can't take things like this for granted.
Absolutely. Always have to keep working on this, and so important to have good communication. And at the same time we are arguing, we always have to try to show respect for each other. If you agree or not agree with the person, you still have to treat them in a good way. If you would like to support this podcast with a small donation, so we can keep growing this show and make this podcast better for you guys, we have some donation link on our homepage, the 101percentpodcast.com. The percent sign you have to write with letters. You can donate with PayPal, debit and credit card. We also have Vips for the Norwegian, Swedish, Denmark and Finland. And we also take crypto donation. We appreciate all donation. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast.
Someone is asking us, are both of you guys going to do podcasts in the future?
Yes, 101% for sure. This is our passion and our business. We love to do this, and this is the key to a better life. So we were very excited for this journey, and I hope we can do this as long as possible together.
I could not have answered it better myself.
So good here.
Next up, what is Joakim's plan for the future?
My plan for the future is to build up this podcast together with my top teammate and my sister Annika. And in the future, I hope we can generate good money about this one. Then we'll reinvest a lot of the money into other things who can keep growing it and generate more money. Also gonna start other businesses. I gonna want to buy an apartment here in Norway, live there for a while, and then I would like to move to Thailand and rent it out. And when me and my daughter have moved to Thailand, I would like to stay there, enjoy life with she, travel the world with my daughter. And we always gonna have a good relationship, work on that every day, try to be as good father and mentor as I can for my daughter. Exercise, I will always exercise a lot, stay healthy, keep working on myself, a lifelong process, and then I'm gonna start an orphanage in Thailand. So what is Annika's future plan?
Me and my husband will move back to Norway next year, actually. Then I feel like we've gotten the best out of the Thailand experience. And our plan is to keep on fighting and go pro, hopefully by the end of next year.
Very good to hear.
Thank you. So as you know, I have already had 4 professional Muay Thai fights, but I'm still an amateur in MMA. And MMA is, of course, my passion, the career I want to focus mostly about. But there has been some hinders, and I haven't had as many fights as I wanted to, and things has happened. So I'm not where I want to be in my career yet. So therefore, we'll move back and focus on our pro career from a very good gym back home. I'll post more details about it as the journey goes and things are more ready to be public in a way. But the work continues. The plan is the same. I'll go pro and I'll get as far as possible in my MMA career. The goal is still to just always do my very best. I'm not quite sure where I want to work when I get back. I have been battling with different kind of ideas. But the most important thing for me is to always do the very best in what I do. So I'll never work at a place where I don't agree with the values or the visions. And for me, the most important thing is to just always enjoy what I'm doing, create the best life, give time to the people that's closest to me. And I look very forward to the next chapters that life has ahead of me.
Great to hear. I recommend everyone to follow Annika on Snapchat. Huckelberg is often try out exciting things and things about her life in Snapchat. It's very interesting to see, so I will recommend everyone to add she there so they can follow her life. And another question, you said that you supported Andrew Tate. Why? I hear that he hates women and that he is a scary man to support. Okay, Annika, can you take this one first?
Okay, I'll try to make it short, but the thing is that Andrew Tate went viral. Everyone hated him. And that's when it caught my interest, because I don't follow any celebrities really or what they do. But when the world start hating him, that's when Annika is awakened. So I spent hours and hours and hours listening to this man on podcasts, on interviews, reading about him. And everything I found about him from sources writing about him was only negative. And everything that he said and he stood for and he was talking about in his podcast and interviews gave a different character. So people say that he hates women, and I've listened to him for so many hours. Never once have I gotten the impression of that. He was in this trial for human trafficking. The entire trial fell through because there are no evidence. There are rumors about rape and different kind of things, but never has it come to my knowledge that any of this has been backed up. So there is a lot of things said about this man that, in my eyes, is not true. And when I listen to Andrew Tate, he is a very powerful man with a lot of influence and principles and strong opinions. And that's why so many people hate him. You have to remember the timing of this. The timing of when the world hated him was the timing of the war on masculinity. So it is important to remember who are the sources of saying all of this. The mainstream media and the politicians, of course, hate him because he has a lot of influence. But when I look at what he says, he encourages young boys to start training. He is a Muslim. He admires women. He talks very positively about them. So after all of the hours I've looked into him, I don't agree with what our listener is saying, that he hates women and that he's a scary man to support. So again, go back to the credibility of the sources, who is saying what, and look into it. If you spend a lot of time listening to him, please give me a call and we can talk more about it.
It's great explained. I will feel the same about him, so I gonna say something too, but I will not try to not say same as you said. But for me, he's a very cool, smart, and funny guy. He's very hardworking and an amazing communicator. I believe he's the best communicator in the world now. And he uses his attention to self-information. Very smart businessman. Because he gets so much attention. And that's what he wants. Get attention, to sell his information. So that's very smart. And the message and a lot of things him say is great thing. And if you follow most of the thing him say, your life will be better. 101% for sure. Him and his brother Christian, also great, cool guy. Very interesting also. Raised by a single mom. Came from one of England's worst places, Luton, He was very poor when he was young, him and his brother. And he became a 4 times kickboxing champion. And him has a great brothership with his brother. I think the strongest one in the world, him and his brother. They're so close. And also him has a great brothership with his friend. And that's something many of the men out there lack, a great brotherhood. So it's so good to see how funny they have together, how loyal. So that's great to see. And him say a lot of things that help people. And I watch him so much. When I gonna watch people, I have to look for the bad things and the good things. And then you can decide if you like him or not. Not just look a TikTok video in 20 seconds and say you not like him. That's not fair. You have to research about it. If it is people you don't know, he want to protect and provide for the woman, and him not hate women. I see so many interviews with him when he meet people, and him is always very respectful to the people. And a lot of lady also. him have meet. I hear big and respected people who meet him and also know him, and they also say a lot of good things about him. And someone say, oh, he's a human trafficker. He's not a human trafficker. He is not convicted, and they have been after him and his brother for a couple of years now, yeah? And he is still not convicted. Annika said it all the time, this is only bullshit, because we not believe this. And now he just get about a lot of the supercar that I could take from him. He get about a lot of money, and it looked like the case are being dropped. They an interview when been after so many women who have interacted with him, and no one has come out and say him have done something wrong. It is someone, but no one know who they are, because there's no one name or face or nothing. When he was young, they have nothing, but know him so rich, and him still work as hard as he have nothing every day, and that's very respect.
Definitely, and that shows a lot about who runs the world, who are allowed to speak, who are we supposed to listen to, who controls mainstream media. I share a lot of this on my Instagram page, on my stories, where I show that they all say exactly the same thing. All the mainstream media, so many different organizations, they say exactly the same script because they don't work independently. They follow this manual scripture. And I'll try to not go so much deeply into this because I can rant for hours. So I'll try to hold back a bit.
Say that for another episode.
Yes, for sure. We'll go into this at another point for sure. But what I wanted to clarify here is that, as you can hear, what me and my brother look up to about Andrew Tate are his good values. The fact that he is a world champion kickboxer several times, the fact that he is so strong, he is masculine, which is a cool thing. He stands for cool things. So all the things we support about him is very positive sides about him. And never once have we thought that he is a rapist or that he is a human trafficker, because of course I would take completely distance from him. The same would Joakim do. If these things were a fact, of course, rapists and human traffickers are the world's worst people I know about in this world, and I would never support a person like that whatsoever. So
Absolutely.
It's very important to clarify these things, and that is also why I'm so happy that our listener asked us, because you know me and Joakim, we have good values and we stand for the things that we stand for. So thank you for asking to clarify that you don't just assume that we support someone you think is bad. So thank you for asking and giving us the chance to clarify this. Okay, so let's move on to the next. How many hours do you work, Joakim, every week?
I do work at least 70 hours every week, and last week it was 80. It only became more and more now. Same as I said earlier, it's just working, training, a little bit family time. That's all I do now. But this is the price I have to pay. I have chosen this life and this way now. This is the price I have to pay, and I will willing to pay it every day. So what about you, Annika? How many hours do you train every week?
So I've been tracking my training for many years, and I see that at the most, when I train like 22 hours for 4 weeks in a row, I have always gotten injured. This can be like a muscle infection or something like that because of overtraining, or something that my body just doesn't handle it. So I decided to go down and train about like between 15 to 18 hours maybe. And that is a recipe I've followed for a long time. And I decided that when I moved to Thailand, I was never going to be in fight camp because I wanted to always stay ready. So I never had to get ready, you know. So now I train, I don't know, I'd say maybe around 15 hours, but I've been a lot sick lately. There's been a lot of things going on. So then I've been training even less, but I focus about always doing something. So I feel that my cardio is all right now. Now it's just the muscle fatigue I need to work through. But then today I had a really bad day. So I didn't go hard in the morning session either, but I went for a run. I went easy on the bag. So just making adjustments when I have to.
Sounds great. So that was our last question in this episode, but we will continue with our Q&A in next episode. Today's episode was recorded November 5th, 2024. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram on this podcast account, the 101% podcast. If you like this episode, make sure to share this podcast episode with a friend. and review the show on Apple Podcast. Thank you to all the audience for listening. We appreciate you all a lot. Hope that you will come back and listen to our next episode. Until next time, take care and give it your best.